Oh, here we go. Yeah. Good afternoon, or good morning, or good evening, depending on what time you're watching this video, although we're making it here in Western Australia in Perth at Apparel Training Services at approximately 2:30 p.m. on a beautiful Friday afternoon. So if you're joining us, welcome. Hope we can provide you with some useful tips. And by the way, my name is Rex Sadiewater, and I'm just one of the many tutors here, qualified tutors for PTE training, academic that being. We have had several other videos on this session as well, or on PT. And today in particular, what we're going to be covering is Write from Dictation. Write from Dictation is one of the most important ones in that it gives you 30 points for your listening in addition to 30 points toward your writing. In other words, this is one of the partial credit tasks that's vital because, as you can see, because it's being marked in two, that being your listening and your writing, it's mandatory that you do this because if you fail one, as you know, you're going to fail the other. So let's get right into it and take a look at our main slides for today then to talk about this particular issue. So first, let's go over some basics as far as what we have from Write from Dictation. The main thing to remember is that nothing within the PTA test is timed individually. You're giving block sets of time. Because this task is usually the last task given, it's imperative that you manage your time wisely, because you can imagine if you don't get to this task and or you're cut off during it, you're going to lose points, as we said, not just towards your listening, but towards your writing as well. Therefore, once again to reiterate, keep track of your time. Methods. There are two methods available. You can either listen and type directly as you're listening, and or you can write on your electronic notebook, because remember there's no paper and pen, it's electronic notebook and electronic pen to take notes and then write it in the box after writing down on the electronic notebook. Just do remember that the time provided for this task is just 40 seconds to 1 minute after each particular sentence has played. Therefore, it's important that you can write and type fast if you're going to use the combined method of writing and typing. And we're going to talk about some alternative methods as well later on. But first, let's just go over the basics. Okay? As far as what you need to do then, each word is given 1 point, that being any type of grammar, whether it's a noun, a verb, an adjective, an adverb. Therefore, what some people recommend is that you write just the content words, and you can leave out minor words behind, like the prepositions, articles, pronouns sometimes even, in order to catch the key words. And then by using grammar, you can go back and fill in the gap. On this same note as well, you can also, as you're taking notes, you can use symbols, abbreviation, keywords such as arrows, up arrow for increase, down arrow for decrease. Instead of government, you could write GOV or even GOV plus any other kind of symbols you want to use for government, especially if it's governments. I guess GOVS even we could put. Again, anything to make it quicker and easier that you can understand as well is very useful in this. As far as some alternative strategies are concerned, it'd be sort of interesting to just discuss a few of these as well. I'm just going to take this slide off just for a second and we'll put it back up in 1 second here. So as far as some alternative strategies to try again, we just saw what you need to do, which is using either the computer and typing directly and or taking notes on your tablet and then typing the sentences in. Again, these methods might not work for you, and the only way to know is to try. One alternative method is if you think very clearly in your language, but you have a hard time expressing yourself in English, you can listen, type and or write the sentence in your language, and then translate it into English. This might be more cumbersome or difficult, but you never know. It's worth trying different things to see. Another method that works well, as we said, is using the grammar method of just writing down the keywords and then filling in. On that note, just to elaborate that a little bit more, to do that though, you need to have a good grasp of grammar, and I strongly advise looking at a grammar chart and or grammar book. Just in general though, we here at Apparel have created a lot of handouts on this particular matter, and just to give you a brief idea of what we've done. What we've done is we've taken a sentence and we've broken it up, because most sentences within PT, unlike real life, starts with nouns, has a verb, has an object, maybe has some adjectives either before the main noun or before the object, and then it has a lot of prepositional phrases. Therefore, knowing the kind of grammar that PT utilizes makes it a lot easier for you then to plan as far as what kind of grammar you need to use. Therefore, usually if we start a sentence with a noun, most nouns have an article, a and the before. After that, we might have an adjective or two. And then, of course, after that, we have the main noun. Remember, there's 4 types of nouns: person, place, thing, and idea. Also, category of nouns, we have countable nouns, non-count nouns, and nouns that always end in S. Even though they're singular, they end in S, such as the news. Therefore, knowing that, followed by a verb, and as we said then, sometimes an object. Again, an object is a noun, which would require another article, followed by a prepositional phrase, which is, example, on the bus. On is the preposition, the is the article, the bus is the noun. Each of those words is one. Therefore, by knowing if we miss certain parts, we can focus on the parts we do know. We can still get some points rather than getting 0. So it is very important that you're having these type of methods we talked about. Another method that I recommend people do is when you memorize a sentence, don't try to memorize it as one long sentence. We don't do that in life. Remember back the lecture we did on read aloud, and we said there was chunking involved, which is every 4 words or so. You can use the same kind of tips for write from dictation. So as you're listening, as we just said, grammatically wise, try to listen to chunks of 3 to 4 words, such as the main noun and the verb and perhaps an object, and then those that follow afterwards. Sometimes by chunking things into grammar, your brain is able to grasp them better as well. Sometimes what people do as well is they'll write down half the sentence, memorize the second part of the sentence, and or vice versa. So there are a combination of many different techniques that you want to try, because a lot of it is personality based and you don't know until you try. I can definitely recommend, though, they're probably better of getting none or getting 0 points, as well as trying something new and see how it applies to or whether it works or not. So let's take a look at our next slide then. As we said then, with write from dictation, with these main things then, we'll go to the next one, if I can click the right slide, okay. So just sort of summarize in a sense, when you write up first, don't worry about the spelling, because you want to get the content words, and by knowing some basic grammar rules and sentence construction of grammar, we can predict and fill in what goes in the gap. Okay? At the end though, before you do click next, make sure to check your grammar and your spelling. Spelling is a vital one we haven't discussed yet. It should actually almost put it in the middle, I suppose, because if you get the right word but you spell it incorrectly, you actually don't get any marks for that particular word, points. The other thing with points is each word is worth a point. There is no negative marking unless you write more words than are what in the sentence. So if the speaker says 10 words and you say 11, 12, or 13, each additional word over the basic sentence limit is -1 for that particular sentence as well. If you make up words in the middle, it's not minus, there are just no plus points, and the words must be in the right sequential order. They can't just be random words as well. Therefore, at the end, check your grammar, spelling, and include any minor words that you left off as well. Okay? Spelling is a very difficult one in today's society, in that computers do our spell check, and so do mobile phones as well. Therefore, I would strongly recommend going online and looking at lists that are created as far as common PT misspelled words, or just common misspelled words in English language. Again, everything is, I love the verb, Googleable, so you can put it in Google search engine for these type of things. Remember to do that, just make sure to put in PTE, academic, and the kind of thing you're looking for to have a more direct relationship to what you're searching for. Lastly then, remember, as far as spelling goes, you can use either British or American English, which is not on our slide here, but both are acceptable and or a combination within a sentence. So maybe in one you're going to say colors, C-O-L-O-U-R, and then you're going to say catalog and use American English, C-A-T-A-L-O-G. That's fine, because the computer does recognize both types of spelling. Although being here in Australia, in a British-speaking country, it's probably better that you get used to using and utilizing British English, because that's what people are going to expect in the workplace as well. Just a note of caution on that one, I guess. Lastly, remember you do need to use capital letters in the beginning of the sentence, and then capitalize, of course, any proper nouns throughout the sentence as well. Things such as no capital letter, such as S or no S with your plural nouns, whether you need one or don't, these can count against you as well, because that's counted as spelling. And what I found is that people who do spell, it's not a matter of spelling, it's a matter of, as they say, and I should add to the slide, typos. Typos are so easy to make when you're typing fast, and as you look the first time, it maybe even looks right. So it is important to stop, look carefully to make sure no letters are inverted before you go on. So, of course, as well, if you're going to use cap, be careful not to leave your cap locks on, because if you leave your cap locks on, of course, this equals a nice round score of 0. And in addition, make sure you end each sentence as well with a full stop. That tells the computer the sentence has been completed. Therefore, I hope this session that we just talked about has been helpful for you. And as well, remember here at Apera, we do offer a lot of different classes, both on the sphere of morning and night classes, morning being 9 to 1, night being 5 to 9, in addition to private tutoring classes that are available most days from 2 to 3 p.m. We offer a wide plethora of other kinds of services as well. And we do offer students the option of a flexi class, which means they can do either day and night, depending on their schedule. Maybe day one week, night the other, and or even a mix during the week as well. So there are different kinds of things that are available for our students, and we really try to take care of them. The classes do run from a 2 to a 4 week period and or longer, depending on what people require. And we always have different kind of options as far as price, packaging, and things of that go. So I couldn't recommend more the necessity to give us a call here in Perth. So if you give us a call, again, it's on the screen, 08-6558-0340. Somebody at the school would be more than happy to help you and to advise you as far as what we're running, what we're doing, and the different options available. Therefore, again, to just summarize, I suppose, and to end with what we've done today, can't thank you enough for joining us here, for joining myself, Rex, here at Apparel Training Services for our video today on Write from Dictation. I hope this has been helpful. Do remember that if you have any areas of concern and or you'd like a talk on a certain area, please feel free to either email us or put a comment on this video, and we'll try to address that in the new year. We will try to produce probably one more video before Christmas, so maybe you'll be lucky, even dress up like Santa to impress you, but don't cross your fingers. Nothing is confirmed on the Santa outfit, but definitely we'll have another video. So please give us some ideas of what you would like before the Christmas period. Okay, again, thank you for joining us, and that's all for now, and we look forward to you joining us next week.